All right, it's here. We're live at noon because the day so many of us have waited for is here. Day two of full NCAA men's basketball tournament, and we have 3 state schools playing today.
I like to say we just couldn't wait, right? We've been chomping at the bit this week. I have.
Man. Yeah, we have.
Get this day going, man. This is an awesome day. This is this is going to end up going down as probably a top 15 day of the whole year.
You combine the weather with the
Top
opening
10
weekend
maybe?
of the NCAA tournament. You got Panthers, Cyclones, Hawkeyes all in it, with apologies to your Drake Bulldogs. Everybody else is involved in the tournament, and I think we're already in like the mid-70s or something today. It's incredible out.
So nice out. It's going to be the same thing tomorrow.
Even warmer.
It is
80s.
the first day of spring, so there's an official
Nice.
a designation to it. It's like everything is coming together today.
And I can't wait just to watch basketball because, as you know, Andy, one of the big misconceptions is like, hey, what a fun job. You just get to sit there and watch these basketball games. I didn't see any basketball yesterday. I was coordinating live shots, typing graphics, scripts, editing video. I saw nothing, but I came home and watched the 90-minute March Madness show until like 1 in the morning or so and caught up. And it was a great first day of the tournament.
Yeah, that is kind of the dirty little secret about getting into this business is, you know, before you get in, you're just like dreaming about it. Oh my God, cover sports for a living.
Yeah.
I can't imagine. I'll never work a day in my life. What does not occur to you until after you get into the business is that it's like making a deal with the devil. I mean, you get to cover sports for a living, but you have to cover sports for a living, and you don't get to enjoy the sports in the same way anymore because you are working when everybody else is off.
True. Today, not working. And we're live at noon to get ahead of it so everybody can be in front of a TV at 1:50. You're either rooting for the Cyclones or in some cases out there, you're rooting against the Cyclones. But that comes up here not too long from now. But right now, let's get going on a fun Friday. Murph and Andy, and nobody told Sipker we're moving.
With the Iowa Lottery's new Millionaire for Life game, you could win $1 million a year for life. That could make you a My Dream Job is No Job-ionaire. A front row tickets to every show-yonaire. A hire a personal glam squad for you and your bestie-yonaire.
Yep, a little further.
Or just to never run out of your favorite pickles-yonaire. With Millionaire for Life from the Iowa Lottery,
And these.
you can change your life for life. Play today.
Let 2026 be the year you finally take that Canadian fishing trip you've always dreamed of. And let me suggest you take it to Lac Seul Evergreen Lodge in beautiful Ear Falls, Ontario. Lac Seul is one of the greatest walleye lakes in North America, and Murph and Andy Show listeners have the stories and the pictures to prove it. A day's drive from Iowa, owned by Iowan Kathy Taylor, on incredible, gigantic Lac Seul. Now booking late summer and early fall 2026. Find more information at lacseulwalleye.com.
The Murph and Andy Show is brought to you in part by Ramsey Subaru, home of the toughest, most reliable cars in the world and the people who back them up, on Hickman Road in Urbandale.
Attention all campers.
Keith Murphy.
What I do have are a very particular set of skills. Skills I've acquired over a very long career.
Andy Fales.
I'm telling you straight, it's my way or the highway.
Powered by AD.
Just a bit outside.
Murph and Andy. Live and on demand across Iowa everywhere from the Channel Seed Studios. Murph and Andy. Connected by Cellular Advantage.
Let's get right into it with a quickie poll from WCI Pools and Spas. AD, what do we have?
Did you find a way to get out of work early today? Yes, it's not a full day for me, or no, it's a regular day.
I'm going to have to say yes. It's not a full day. We've already done happy hour. That's in the Iowa Everywhere feeds because that's usually at 6:30, which is right when Iowa and UNI are playing. So that made no sense. And we're starting this show an hour earlier today. I think it's the first time we've ever done this so that we can be ready and so can people watching for the Iowa State game. So I'll go yes.
I have to go no. This is a regular day for me. We've got the podcast. I don't normally work television on Fridays. I'm not working, so it's the same for me.
Kind of.
Starts a little earlier. Yeah,
starts a little earlier, but yeah, that's about
same
the
amount.
same. AD, what about you and AKC Marketing and this podcast?
It's a no for me because I'm working here, but it's also my first day back after spring break. So it's like I spent the morning in the office kind of catching up on things. I'm going to go back after the show and kind of figure things out. It helps that my Hawkeyes don't play until 5:50 tonight, and so I'll be keeping an eye on the Iowa State game. But if Iowa was playing this afternoon, there's no way I'd be going back to work.
Good for you. All right, let's get the table setter from Guest House Tavern and Oyster coming up. No Work Friday, NPR Sports Cash, and AD Hart High Point. Guest House Tavern and Oyster in West Des Moines with nightly specials, great seafood, and a perfect patio for perfect weather. You do have a patio there on the side. We've done our show from over there before. It's a nice spot, and people are going to be looking for patios today. They already are. Probably somebody watching us from a patio right now.
They were full last night. I mean, I saw several patios last night that had I don't know that there was any room on them. It was beautiful last night. Yeah.
All right, let's get to high or low.
People are just dying for it right now, right?
Since the last show.
Presented by Wealth Charter Retirement Planning and Tax.
Make your money work as hard as it can for you. Tim Hawkins and Company can tell you how to do that. WealthCharterRetirement.com is where you will find them. Well, how could you go low today? What type of person would do that? I'm going. I have to go high. You're going to go low. Why are you going low? Why are you going low? You're going to go low.
Stand by. Story forthcoming.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm going high. It's absolutely beautiful outside. You can taste it outside. You're like, oh man, there's going to be so many people out here taking advantage of this. Got the weekend in front of us. Our teams are perfect, undefeated right now. The path to the Final Four is just laid out in front of them. People are making plans, have plans, people taking off work early. I mean, it's basically a sports holiday today.
Yes, it is.
With a whole bunch else going for it as well.
All right, so nice try there, Andy. I'm still not going high, but that you did.
This is going to have to be pretty damn good. I mean, seriously, this is a top 15 day of the calendar.
I agree, and the weather adds to it. And we have a guest in our house. Our friend, your friend, Alicia, is here for the weekend. That just adds to this low. She got here yesterday. She's staying in our guest room.
She adds to the low?
Well, just her presence being here because of the low. So it's about 4:30 in the morning.
Yeah,
Jenny and I.
You don't know that time very well.
No, Jenny and I are sound asleep. Jenny usually gets up at 5:30 on a Friday, but she's still asleep. And suddenly we hear something so loud that we're rattled. We can't understand what it is. It almost looks like the kind of music you would pipe into to try to break people, like counter-terrorism.
This is music you hear?
Well, kind of. I mean, it's the worst music you can imagine for my age. It's just, it's crazy sounds.
Like Slipknot?
Non-stop N-word, a lot of P-word, and it's going, and it's so loud, but it's so loud it's like vibrating.
So hip-hop then?
Yeah, maybe. So Jenny and
it's so loud, it's like distorted. You can't really even tell what it is.
Yeah. So we go over to the window to try to figure out what in the hell is going on. And did I record a few seconds of it? Yes, I did. Now, this is not translating how loud this is. It was shaking our windows.
It's loud. I can
Other
tell
than
it's loud.
Kelderman, I don't even understand how you could design a car to play. This went through the whole neighborhood, which did give us the hope that at some point the police are going to show up. And sure enough, somebody called the police because 2 cars came in, and we
Blocked
watched
them in?
that too. No, they came in. The police were very professional. The young people here, they immediately turned the music off. You could overhear the police saying, we've had several complaints that this is way too loud. This is at least 20 minutes in by the time the
But
police
do
get there.
the police really have to explain themselves there? We've had some complaints. Can't the police just come in on their own jurisdiction and be like, it's way too loud, way too early.
Well, as soon as the kids, they might have been, I don't know what their ages were. As soon as they saw the police cars, they immediately turned the music down, which was enough to like fill Jack Trice Stadium. You know, when people complain in warm-ups that it's too loud, that's how damn loud it was. I still don't know how this SUV pulled it off. And we could see one person as the cop pulled up, one person just shoved what you would guess might be some kind of paraphernalia over to the side. And then all the kids stood there and they were respectful. And we could overhear one of them say, "Don't run," which is smart advice. Don't run from the police. So they all stood there. They listened. And the police got back in their car. It was a nice exchange. They drove off. The kids left the car there and then just all walked over and gathered in a circle. But there was no music. And at that point, we tried to go back to sleep, but it was pointless. I mean, it was just too much adrenaline. That's my low.
So there may be some drawbacks to this new townhome of yours.
Well,
what you're saying.
and there was like at one point I had to wake up enough to think, maybe I should shoot some video, but I need to be damn sure I have the light off. I don't want the light shining down or anything. But yeah, there was one point it was like nonstop twerking for 5 straight minutes, just in the middle of the street. AD, if one more time, there's no way to properly or intelligently explain how loud this was. I mean, we couldn't even have a conversation in our bedroom window. Props to the speakers. Andy, this was the dream back in high school. I remember my Ford Fiesta, the stereo I saved up for, the stereo was worth more than the car itself. But it didn't have that kind of juice.
Yeah, I had a situation like that too. I like how somebody's got their phone out. They're like doing a
of course,
video.
Yeah, you got to record this. And
I mean, that's like next level stupid to do this with illegal drugs on you.
Maybe, yeah, could be.
I mean, yeah, if you get busted for that, that's on you. That's your fault.
By the way, after the police left, 2 cars, couple officers, and again, everybody was great in the exchange. The one guy ran over to where he had thrown the paraphernalia, picked it back up, and took it with him.
Yeah, I'm sure that was just a pen or something, just a pencil.
Yeah, probably so. All right, let's catch the bus.
The Bus. Brought to you by Logier Heating and Cooling.
Bring some get you a gross of black cats to fire down on people like that are doing that in the future.
Oh man,
that's a good call.
Yeah, just make it louder and even more disruptive. But that's a low. That was tough to bounce back from.
Yeah. You're gonna be
tired today. It was just disorienting. One of the things in life, and you dealt with this for 8 years, getting up in the morning, but like a loud sound of any kind that wakes you up is always startling. It's like the phone call, and you look at it, and you're probably not quite to this age yet. Your kids aren't, but you'll both get there. That the phone rings at like 1 a.m, and you see it's one of your kids, and your heart just stops.
Yeah.
Just stop for a second. All right, here we go. 3 tourney games today, 2 tomorrow. Iowa State, Tennessee State, 1:50 p.m. today. Not a lot of breakdown needed on this, and some people will be watching after the fact, but I'll be surprised if Iowa State doesn't win by at least 20 points. This is a classic mismatch. Cyclones are playing well. This is not the team that wobbled in 25 years ago against Hampton, and we should have seen the possibility of an upset coming. This team is doing well, and Tennessee State, the Tigers, it's a good matchup for Iowa State. They turn the ball over a lot. The Cyclones are favored by 25 for a reason. This is going to be should be a sit your starters in the final minutes to rest up for Sunday.
Putting this on a tee, you've seen enough of this NCAA tournament so far to know that nobody's safe. Stuff happens. God, Siena almost stuck it to Duke yesterday. Geez, that would have deep sixed everybody's brackets. There were a bunch of upsets, some near upsets. I mean, this stuff happens. It's just one game. You come out cold. The other team's hot. I mean, David's killed Goliaths every single year. You're right. I mean, this is what should happen. And, looking back to even the UAB game, that was a 3 seed, right? Cyclones a 3 seed that year, weren't they? UAB, yep. Yeah, 3 seed, and
3 seed that year. The 2 against Hampton.
But that was both of those teams were, as we learned later on, a mess, right? I mean, they were coming apart in the locker room.
This team is not.
Yeah, we don't see that. We've seen them open up awfully cold this year. Can't see any of that kind of stuff, but. Yeah, I mean, the bottom line of the NCAA tournament is it's one step at a time, and it feels like it's one step at a time because it may be Tennessee State, but if Iowa State wins this, the fans will be pumped. They'll be really excited about it. I mean, it's the NCAA tournament, right? I mean, they're really excited. They will savor a win over Tennessee State, unlike they would at any other point in the season.
Yeah, and the winner gets Kentucky or Santa Clara, and don't count on this being Kentucky. This is like
Santa Clara's giving them a game.
Yeah. Is it on?
They're up
going
at the
right
half.
now?
Yeah, they're up 2 at the half. Yeah.
I was going to say I think there's a chance Santa Clara wins that. Not a chance. I think this is a toss-up. Santa Clara easily could win this game. And Kentucky, it's like Hayden Fry used to say about the Michigan helmets. They're worth 4 points. The Kentucky brand in the uniforms, when you fill out a bracket, it's like Kentucky and Santa Clara. But Santa Clara actually is a better basketball team than Kentucky this season. So either way, this will be a game on Sunday that won't be anything like this game today. But here's the Cyclones at the NCAA Tournament media availability in St. Louis.
Just going back and watching the film, I understand that screening is going to get me more open looks, but also my teammates. So when I'm screening as well as the 5 men, I think that's been a big emphasis from the front court guys. So just continue to screen, play hard that way. So it's just going to give us more easy buckets.
After that Arizona game in Tucson, we decided to just go back to what we know best, and that's playing with pace, movement, more freely. So obviously had to watch film and get back to what we were playing like in the summer and then early in the season. But I feel like it was just that conversation of what do we like, what's comfortable with us players.
Even as we've had some great triumphs through the course of the season, we've also had some challenges, and you want both of those experiences. Character is built more on adversity than success, and how you get yourself up after you get knocked down, and our guys have done a remarkable job of that.
Well, we know we can hang with the best, so just keep building off that, keep building practices. We just had a good practice today. We're going to get some good shots up after this, so just keeping our same routine and just keep it building, keep it pushing.
We thought what we did in Kansas City was good, so really just try repping out what we did there, keeping that same mentality, and then just keep kind of getting after it. But I think just keep playing fast, playing for each other, just keep doing the little things that we do well.
That's the coolest thing that I've ever accomplished in my life is playing in March Madness. It's something that you always look at growing up, and just being able to be here is pretty surreal, and I'm looking forward to playing here with a great crowd and, trying to compete as a team to go as far as we can.
All right, so the Cyclones, will be a lot of Cyclone fans there, of course, and Iowa State can stay in the Midwest the entire run to however far they go. I mean, they'd go to Chicago from St. Louis, and then the Final Four is in Indianapolis. Where are you watching today? Are you going to full focus at home, or are you going to go out and be around other people?
I'm going to go out and be around other people. I'm going to go over – I haven't told them that told him this yet, but I'm going to go over to my friend Dylan's house. There's a bunch of people over there. But,
hey, Dylan, if you're watching, you have a guest coming.
He's got a patio on the back deck with TVs, and so
why don't I send the twerkers over and see if they can pump out some tunes for you and maybe do some dancing?
Yeah, they're not going to make
probably sleep.
They won't make any more noise than the little kids that'll be running around also at the same time. We're over there, but no, I want to watch with other people. I'd kind of like to do that all day long.
What about you, AD? You're working.
I'm working during the Iowa game, and then I'll just be home for the Iowa game. That's one of those games where it sounds nice to be out with people, but I just need to be laser focused and not let my emotions show to other people, I guess.
I think I'm going to stay here and just focus by myself on the game. It's not a game that's that intriguing. It is a complete mismatch. But I know you think I'm. Hey, Mark, write the time down, AD. I'm not nervous about this. They're going to run this team out of the arena.
I just think the Cyclone fans are listening to this and going,
it's a classic mismatch.
Stop.
Don't be nervous, Cyclone fans. Just relax. It's fine. It's not like a 4:30 a.m. wake-up call from a loud SUV and a bunch of twerkers. You're fine. You're fine. But Jenny's working this afternoon, so I'll probably just wait. So we'll see. Hey, I do have, courtesy of Chris Williams, Trent and David from WHO 13, they're on their way to St. Louis, and they don't know this yet, Andy, but they'll care. No one else watching probably will, but for the first time, they're charging the media for all snacks. So you want a bag of chips?
Really?
They're now charging the media. Sandwich, $12. Now, it's still in the media room, but it's no longer complimentary. Got to keep those revenue streams coming.
Well, they were still coming. They just wanted it. They didn't want to cut into it at all this year. So yeah, come
a $12
come
sandwich.
spend your money to cover our event, and we're not going to give you any food or beverages. Well, that is.
We know you're coming anyway.
I know some members of the media who are going to be absolutely crushed by that.
Yes.
Like this is one of their favorite things in life.
No, they can still expense it, but it's inconvenient.
But their stations have been cutting back on that too.
The problem is, as you know, it's often a 12 to 14-hour day, and
you can't run out and get food.
Even though people back in the newsroom are saying like, "Hey, if you have a chance, go by Frankie's Italian restaurant there. It's fantastic, and it's." Just make sure you have about 3 hours because, they do a big meal and we don't have time to go to Steak and Shake. So you're walking by where that media center is and just grabbing the peanuts with M&Ms mixed in, and you eat way too many chips and too much soda. It's basically, however long you're covering the tournament, you just eat a lot of crap. And now you will pay for that crap.
Yeah, bags of chips and sodas, and
pretzels.
They don't even have like a soda machine there.
We'll have to find that out.
Bastards.
I'm not sure, but
that's the NCAA.
And oftentimes the pretzels would give Ben Stiller, and along came Polly a heart attack, because it'd just be a big bowl of pretzels where people are just get their hands down in there, not using the tongs or the bowl, just
double dipping the chips and dip.
All right, then at 5:50 p.m., it's Iowa and Clemson. This game is viewed as a slight toss-up. Iowa is a 2.5-point favorite, primarily because Clemson's second-best player tore his ACL last week. So that's a big blow for the Tigers in this matchup. This is a game for fans of both teams. It's probably not going to be riveting for others because both teams play at a really slow pace, will not be high scoring. They'll use the entire shot clock each possession, and it'll be just who does that better. So you have to like Ben McCullum here, I think. But this is a intriguing first-round matchup.
That's another thing that I just don't think that fans care about in the NCAA tournament, what the speed of the game looks like, especially not in the early rounds. You're just trying to just win the game, win in advance.
Not fans of the teams playing, but if you're watching, this is going to be a slow-paced game.
Yeah, I feel like
if you're just
I feel like the people watching this game are the fans of the teams that are playing in this game. I mean, you can. There's so many games going on. You can just kind of be very picky and choosy about which ones the objective fans settle on. I don't know that they'll pick this one, but I remember watching, Drake last year, which is this same team essentially, play Missouri, and they were bleeding the clock. They were, weren't shooting until the end of every possession, and they were winning. And I was no less excited about what was going on there. It was fantastic. It was
to be clear, no Hawkeye fan is going to care, especially
they're not
going to
care. They're not going to care.
But just for your average on your couch, no stake in the game other than your bracket basketball fan, it will be a slow pace. But Missouri, I don't know Clemson's coach. I won't pretend I do. But that Missouri game you're talking about last year, that was a classic case of someone being outcoached.
Yep.
Because Missouri never made any adjustments to what Drake was clearly doing. All the things you just laid out. Controlling the tempo, using the entire possession, taking a shot at the last second. Bennett Sturtz being the best player on the floor that game. They just didn't do anything to adjust, and they let Iowa control that game. And not knowing Clemson, but knowing Iowa's coach, I like Iowa's chances to do that again. But it's a low confidence.
Yeah, I do too. I like them in this game, and then that'll be it, I think. But I think that'll be enough this year.
Well, AD, I know you didn't do buckets this week. You were spending some time with your family. Glad about that. But
yeah,
of what you know about this matchup, how's your confidence?
Yeah, pretty high. I mean, I feel with Iowa right now, they're so inconsistent. So ask me 5 minutes into the game, and if the Hawkeye team that loses to Maryland and Penn State shows up, then they're in trouble. But I feel good about, as you said, McCollum. I think Bennett Sturtz is the best player on the floor. I think this matchup is good for Iowa, especially with Clemson's best big man out and them kind of having to adjust on the fly. Now they went and beat North Carolina without him, but you maybe get that bounce after that injury and maybe that dies down now. So I think it's out there for Iowa. They should win this game.
I think a key factor here too is Bennett Sturtz has had more than a week to rest. He looked tired at the end of the year, and why wouldn't he? He was playing like all 40 minutes.
Whole game, every game, yeah.
But he did not shoot the ball as well. He still was Iowa's best player, and he still made a difference out there. But he did look tired, and he's had a week to rest. I think that could be a key here too. Let's hear from the Hawkeyes in Tampa.
Just take it all in, and it goes by super quick. And it's gone in a second. So I think a lot of our guys, including me, were nervous and at tip, and I don't know, it kind of hurt us a lot. So just taking it all in, having fun out there when you're playing and not taking it too serious.
Last year, it's your first time there. You got jitters. Now it's kind of more of a complete business approach. We've been here before, so, we're not just happy to be here. We want to win games. So, from that aspect of just preparing like that and knowing that we want to come here and win games, it kind of changes your mentality in that way.
Any other game, you get out there and you kind of just settle in, but this one's a little bit different. You still look around and see the March Madness signs everywhere, and it still hits you during the game. So just soak it up as much as you can, just enjoy the process.
Yeah, I mean, I think the experience, again, probably gives you just an understanding of the preparation that goes into it, the atmosphere that's with it, and I think those guys have seen that. They've seen it in a couple different games, and again, if they can carry some of that experience with them, but it doesn't give you I wish the experience would give us plus 10. It doesn't do that, so the game actually still starts 0-0. So you use some of that experience to gain some comfort, but it doesn't necessarily give you that much of an advantage in the game once it starts.
Hearing from the Hawkeyes there, Ben McCollum always good on the podium, has a lot to say, and is interesting. Cale Combs He needs to work like the midnight DJ shift. Did you hear
that voice? Yeah.
Coming up, we got the Commodores with Machine Gun.
Yeah, I mean, I was glad to hear them say that kind of stuff because I mean they did. This is the same team as last year. They went through this last year. They got that experience under their belt. It was in a different situation, so I think that should be some really valuable experience to be able to carry into this game, as opposed to guys that have not been there before in a rebuilt program. I mean that would be, really really eye-opening to a team that hadn't been through that before. But they've got that going, and going forward, that's going to be a rare thing in college basketball to have that big a group together for consecutive years and playing in the postseason and getting a lot of postseason experience. I just don't think that's going to happen very much anymore.
About 20 minutes after Iowa tips off, UNI will tip off against St. John's. This is the tough draw of our three teams. I mean, St. John's is just a bad matchup for UNI, at least on paper. Now, the three-pointer can be a great equalizer, and UNI does play great defense. In fact, the Panthers allow the fewest points of any team in the NCAA tournament, and they finish as Andy's proverbial hot team. But Rick Pitino coaches St. John's. They're long. UNI is not. This is a tough matchup. And that is at 6:10 p.m. UNI is like an 11 or 12-point underdog. Most experts think St. John's is underseeded as a 5. Anything can happen.
I just think it's refreshing to hear that tone in Ben Jacobson's voice as he's talking about, this tournament. And you can just sort of tell that he's relieved and excited to be here with his team. There's just a different tone in coaches' voices in the NCAA tournament.
There is.
I mean, they're proud to be there, and maybe they're trying to act like it's just business as usual, but I mean, they're basketball fans. This is a huge deal to be a part of this tournament, and they know damn well going in that anything can happen. So even a team that's a heavy underdog, there isn't any reason to go in there feeling like you don't belong on that floor. I mean, Northern Iowa knows how this goes. Ben Jacobson knows how this goes. This is a winnable game for them. It is.
It was 16 years ago today that Ali Farouk-Manesh hit that. What is he doing? Oh, wow! Shot that three, the cold-blooded dagger, as it's been called many times, that kind of put Kansas away. I had the full shot clock left, didn't care. Leading by 1, shot it.
Yeah.
Made the cover of Sports Illustrated back when that was a bigger deal.
Had some
That was
clock they
16
needed
years.
to burn, had a
Yeah.
possession they needed to make the very most of.
Just shot it anyway.
All these
That's
things that
March.
led to you just going, no, what are you doing? And then it goes in, oh my God, that's the perfect call. I knew it all along. Yeah, it was it feels like it was yesterday. I can see him on the floor still releasing that ball.
And it was 10 years ago, and this is the video and sound I picked out from Ben Jacobson because I think you'll find it interesting. It was 10 years ago that UNI had the Jesperson half-court shot to beat Texas. And that's one of the shots that's always shown. That's one of the highlights always shown about the NCAA tournament because it wins the game. It's a tie game, and then a 3 from half-court to win it for UNI. UNI advances to play Texas A&M. Looks like they're going back to the Sweet 16. There is, depending on what source you use, there's either 38, 40, 43 seconds to go, and UNI is up by 13, I think. It doesn't seem possible.
I thought it was 12 with 35, but I don't know. These things get tweaked in your mind over the years.
It also depends when you set the clock and the point total, but it's around 12 points in 35 seconds, and Texas A&M ties it. And fascinatingly, UNI actually scored a basket in those final 30 seconds, but Texas A&M ties it. You know what's going to happen in overtime, and that is what happens. And on our radio show back in the day, I remember talking about this and saying, I think this is something that's hard to get over, like not days or weeks or even months, but maybe years. I mean, because it's just so difficult. And I remember at Coaches versus Cancer, even trying to, have a little humor aimed at this. And I saw Ben Jacobson's face and I immediately regretted it, because I was like, he is not, this was, 2 months later. I was like, this is just not funny to him. And he was asked about that yesterday and about the recovering from this. And he said, well, first of all, let me make clear, none of these players are recovering from it, because they were
little kids.
Yeah, they were 10 years old or 11 years old. But he was pretty candid about how hard it was for him.
But the 10-year thing came up, and I've told them, these guys don't know anything about that, right? And they're the most important part of this story, if you will, is our players, and they don't know anything about the 10 years. So that's number one. Number two, for me and my wife and my two boys and our school and our fans, and 10 years is a long time. It feels great to be back. But again, I'll go back to number one. These guys don't know anything about that, right? It's about them. In terms of what we learned, I haven't. It was I tell you, it took a good 2 or 3 years, for me, just rolling through in my mind, right? Because as coaches and as leaders, I think we feel such a strong responsibility to make sure, in my case as a coach, our players are in the best possible position to be successful, right? And we were there, right? We were there against Texas, and we were there against A&M, and so it took me a while to figure out, man, what in the world could you have done different?
It's a really honest answer.
I love that guy. So great answer. Really thinking about it all the way through. He's not being the slightest bit dismissive. I mean, he's really giving you his whole thought process behind the thing. I love that. And it's fair to point out that he has aged about 6 months in 10 years. Jeez, he hasn't got a single gray hair. How does a college basketball coach not have any gray hair?
True, especially after surviving that.
Oh my God, yeah. And you can tell him color it. Yeah.
You can see in the reflection. I mean, there's a pause in there where it's like you can tell. In some ways, he'll never be over it. Yeah. That there's still pain, but after 2 or 3 years, he moved on. But he's such a thoughtful guy. He over and over in his mind, should I have called a timeout? Yeah. Should we have just thrown the ball all the way down the court? What should we have done? It haunted him for a while, and he made clear he did move past it, but you can still see this is one of those sports things, not the most important thing in the world, but a sports thing that you just don't get over. Like when your team suffers a heartbreaking defeat, you're not over Drake's loss at the hands of the
Western
guy with
Kentucky.
the baggy shorts.
Western
whatever
Kentucky.
his name was.
God, that damn. I've blocked his last name, at least at this point. It's taken this long for me to forget his last name. But, you bring that up, and it's the NCAA tournament. For all the memories that it potentially gives, it's also this incredible eraser of memories. What do you, other than the Jesperson shot, which that gets completely coated over by the loss to Texas A&M. I mean, it's almost hard to remember that that's a part of the same tournament. It really, I mean, it does. I mean, it nullifies that win. The loss to Texas A&M nullifies that win. That goes down as an absolutely incredible moment. And it is an incredible moment.
Yeah.
But the fans don't retain that. You move on to the next round, and it's whatever happens in that next round. It's like that memory is largely dependent on what you do next. And if the last thing that you do, the last thing that happened is probably the memory that people are going to take away from it most. I mean, there are rare occasions, huge upsets, huge shots and huge upsets. Salih Farouk Manesh would be a really good example of that. There are a few examples of memories that will kind of transcend the year, and they'll live forever no matter what happened to the team right after that. That very seldom though. Usually that team has a chance to celebrate that for a few minutes, the fans a few minutes, then you go on 2 days later, you play again, you lose bad. That's your closing. That's the taste in your mouth that you carry into the off season for the most part. And that's, good and bad. It's just, that's postseason basketball though. I mean, how many amazing runs at the Big 12 tournament have the Cyclones put together? I mean, there's been, I can't remember them all. I mean, there've been Eustace, Hoiberg, Otzelberger. I mean, there have been
Tim Floyd won the final Big 8 tournament.
Yeah, Steve Prohm had one. There's been so many of them, and then you go into the NCAA tournament, you get upset early on, or you just lose a game that you know that you could have won, and that's your lasting memory from the NCAA tournament has erased that conference tournament for the most part. So it's incredible. I mean, it's like this maximum risk reward situation, right? Where you're risking it all, like losing it all, like losing all of your good emotions about the season. You put those on the line each time you play an NCAA tournament game.
Well, you and I 10 years ago had one of the all-time thrill of victory, agony of defeat pivots. I mean, that encapsulates it right there. Women play Saturday about the same time, around 3 p.m. Iowa plays Fairleigh Dickinson. Fairleigh Dickinson is not going to stay in this game long. In these games, unlike the men's tournament, the women's top 4 seeds, they have home games, and that's a huge advantage, especially at Iowa, where they're working on like 55 straight sellouts. They've sold this game out. I mean, Fairleigh Dickinson is going to be thrilled just to play a game in that environment because it's become such a point of pride at the University of Iowa. The second game will be more interesting.
You think that's how they'll feel? They'll come in, they'll be, oh, man, I just feel fortunate to be playing in front of a sold-out crowd.
Yes, I think they're going to be thrilled. I do. I think they're. I saw Arizona State posting videos just of what it's like to walk down the tunnel at Carver Hawkeye and see the lights in the atmosphere.
The house that Caitlin built. They're all taking shots from the 22 on the floor.
Oh yeah.
They're like posing next to photos of Caitlin on the wall and stuff. I mean, this is for a women's basketball player who were like in high school when Caitlin became the biggest women's sports star in the nation. They're excited to be at Carver Hawkeye. Then Iowa will likely play Georgia. Again, this might be interesting on a neutral court, but Iowa should win at Carver Hawkeye. Iowa State plays Syracuse in Storrs, Connecticut. Iowa State should win this game, and needs don't we feel like needs to win this game? I mean, this has been a disappointing season, all things considered.
And you can get some of that back with a win there. I mean, it's just so hard with that dead end staring them straight in the face and having to play UConn in the next round if they get to the next round. So I just what you really need is a Sweet 16 run this year, and I just can't see that.
Tough draw. No. Tough draw. Yeah, and Mark Freund and Jake Bren broke all this down on buckets. So if you want more in-depth basketball, those guys are really good. Freund was in for the vacationing Andrew Downs this week and did a really nice job. Hey, longtime listener Rob Mateer asked for a little Murph and Andy throwback today. So, Andy, you mentioned this earlier. Explain to me what we're about to hear.
Well, he wanted to hear so this is the NPR Sports Cash guys from SoundOff. Their names
really
are
pretentious guys.
I mean, they're very cultured. No, they're nice. They're nice.
I feel
guys.
like they look down their nose a little bit at sports fans, and they don't seem to know sports very well.
No, you don't know these guys like I do. These guys are very nice, humble guys. They're intellectuals, though they're not sports fans. They don't know what they're doing, and they're
then why are they reporting on this? Why?
Well, I mean, somebody's got to do it at NPR, and it was them. So I mean, they answered the call. I think they deserve a little bit of respect for that. So they get out there and they They did their best they could with the NPR Sportscast and calling sports highlights and sound off. And we invited them to fill out an NCAA tournament bracket. Give us, their picks.
It's like throwing darts at a dartboard. These guys don't know matchups.
No, clearly they didn't know the matchups. Now, some of the matchups, you'll have to think back, this is 2018. Some of the ones they did get right. I mean, I think they picked UMBC over 1 seed Virginia.
That had never happened before.
That's a blind squirrel.
They
thing.
said
that is not some insightful.
Well, I mean,
moment.
they made the pick, and then they broke it down. The UMBC team is the Retrievers, and that's a dogged little competitor. A Retriever is where a Cavalier is a
remind me of these guys' names.
is a gauche, supercilious prick. And you like the Retriever in that matchup, and that's what they went with. Elliot Feinberg and Paul Robin Pixner, their names. So Rob enjoyed that segment. Andrew dug it up, which he still has that skill. He dug it up. It's too long to play the whole thing, but we got a little bit of this from 2018. This is the NPR Sportscast guys giving us their NCAA bracket.
Creighton against Kansas State out of the Big 12.
Kansas State is the Wildcats. Creighton is the Blue Jays. Creighton is the higher seed. We at NPR find that to be laughably ironic because in actuality, Wildcats, specifically feral domesticated cats, are much to blame for the dramatic decrease in American songbird populations. A typical wildcat can eat as many as 9 Blue Jays in one day. I'll take Kansas State, but not with a clear conscience, Keith.
The 8 Missouri against the 9 Florida State, FSU.
Yes, Missouri playing the Seminole tribe of Florida, who are known for the green corn dance. The tribe's best player is a chief known as Osceola, who rides an Appaloosa horse named Renegade, giving the Seminoles the advantage and the victory.
6 seed Florida against 11 St. Bonaventure.
Florida, a state of whorehouses, carjackings, and general ill repute. St. Bonaventure, on the other hand, was a very devout Catholic of the Middle Ages. He once ate nothing but rats for a year to show God how sorry he was for drawing pictures of naked women. Whatever. Florida's the pick.
Number 7, Texas A&M against number 10, Providence in the West region.
Yes, the Providence Frying Pans facing the Aggies of Texas A&M, founded by Clara Blandich, who played the aunt of Dorothy Gale in the motion picture Wizard of Oz. Ms. Blandich, of course, penning just before her death, quote, "I am now about to make the great adventure," moments before swallowing a bottle of sleeping pills and putting a plastic bag over her head in the actress's explosive final act. We take Texas A&M.
The logic with how to come up with the picks. And how about those frying pans? All right.
So
Speaking of
that
upsets,
he's got that right, and he's just wrong. Yeah.
Last night, High Point upset Wisconsin. The 12 over the 5. AD, how did it feel to you to see Wisconsin lose?
It was fantastic. It made me feel smart because I always pick Wisconsin to lose their first round game, and there have been times where that's come back to bite me a little bit, but made me feel smart. I think they've lost like 5 or 6 in a row as a 5 seed. Wisconsin has, so that's kind of fun. But we were driving back, and it was we were getting into Des Moines, and I asked my wife, "Hey, can you just check the scores?" We've been in the car all day. And it was like, she's like, you have some sort of sixth sense for feeling Wisconsin pain, because right when I asked her to do that, there were like 12 seconds left and Wisconsin was about to lose. And so I was able to live that victory for my High Point whatevers loud and proud yesterday.
Man, High Point. And you have the student audio call of the end of this?
Yes, this is
from High Point.
This is really good.
To Anderson, driving, step back. In circles now, Johnson catch and shoot. takes it inbounds. 9 seconds. Boyd wants it inside. Drive. 6 seconds. Block! Now Boyd, they launch down court. Anderson gets it. Throw on the glass slipper. It's a Cinderella story in Portland, Oregon. For the first time in program history, High Point breaks through. We will see you in the round of 32. Oh, what a feeling!
That is so great.
It's awesome.
It is. It has to be one of the 3 greatest things about the NCAA tournament, right? The fact that a team with a gigantic budget now, right? A huge team in the Big Ten, with wealthy alumni coming out, the yin yang and all this history and everything, can lose the biggest game of the year, a devastating loss to a team that you have never heard of before, right? You don't even know where High Point University is. It sends everybody running to Google. They don't even know. They don't even
I still don't know.
It's in North Carolina.
Thank you.
But they don't know. They don't bother looking it up unless they're part of the sports media for that particular team. The fans don't even care. They're like, well, we're going to kill it. It doesn't matter. After the game, they don't want to think about it, so they don't look it up. Like, they never know where this team is from, right? They either move on right past them or they don't want to think about it again. But that happens, whether it's Fairleigh Dickinson or, UMBC, one of these schools. You're just like, what? How could that be? And it happens.
It happens, and it doesn't happen as much anymore, but it was a reminder yesterday that it does still happen. So that's awesome. And tip of the cap to the NCAA, which is rare for me, and they rarely give us reason, but they haven't pushed out the student broadcasters yet. And I'm kind of surprised because this happens a lot. But organizations figure out a way to, if you make it 100% exclusive, that they can charge more money. But absolutely, you should continue to have moments like that where the non-objective student announcers from their school can bring that play-by-play and color analysis back to other students and back to their college fans. And that's great. I mean, it's a great experience just on the broadcasting level, but it's good for the fans too. So keep doing that kind of thing. Don't just turn it over to CBS and Westwood One. It's supposed to be about the students, and that's happening less, so it's good to see that. Also in that game, and I didn't know this till I saw the highlights late last night, but so the Chase Johnston, he hits a crazy Ali Farouk-Manesh moment, kind of a Caitlin Clark 3 where you can't believe where he launched it from. And it's like almost the half-court logo with plenty of time on the shot clock in a close game. He misses that. They lose that game, but it goes in. And then maybe the most crazy stat I've seen in a while, this guy going into this game, he's made 68 threes and had not made a 2. He had 0 field goals until last night. And then he's the one that makes the clinching layup. A fast break, he hits the game-winning shot, 2-pointer. That's his first of the year. 69 field goals, 68 were threes.
And again, just more great stuff about the NCAA tournament, and that wouldn't come about. We wouldn't talk about that. It's just these little stories that unfold, and
he's a specialist.
So they are moving on, and that school from North Carolina is alive, and the University of North Carolina is not. And
lost
Duke
to VCU.
Almost was not. Did NC State win that game? What was that? Did they win that game?
NC State lost to Texas, right?
Lost to Texas in the first 4. NC State's out. The 2 biggest schools in that state are out. High Point is in. Duke is barely in.
VCU was down 19 in this game and then lost. VCU was down 19, and then North Carolina lost in overtime. So VCU, this is the biggest comeback in first-round history. Down 19.
VCU, another one of the schools that I think America knows exists because of the NCAA tournament in the past. Shaka Smart.
That's why you see that data about how much it's worth when Drake wins an NCAA tournament game or High Point wins an NCAA tournament game.
Yeah, because they're like their admissions office gets flooded with calls.
Get flooded.
Yeah, I mean the sports success helps the whole school.
Nebraska wins its first ever NCAA men's basketball tournament game. The Huskers had infamously been 0-8. Price Sanford out of Waukee and former Hawkeye had 23.7 threes. Fred Hoiberg, I got some pushback from a Hawkeye fan on this today. I said, or was it a Cyclone fan? It was a Hawkeye fan. I said he's starting to work on a little bit of a legacy at Nebraska. He's like, what's a legacy at Nebraska? Well, this is now the best Nebraska men's basketball team in the history of the school. They had this
just
massive
because the legacy
crowd.
is not impressive doesn't mean it doesn't exist.
Yeah,
there's still a legacy.
He's had this. They have this huge following now. They've energized the basketball fan base at Nebraska, which was non-existent, to men's basketball. I mean, they had a line at that Oklahoma City arena. The line was down the street. It was nothing but Nebraska fans. That's part of Fred's legacy. He's now a 2-time Big Ten Coach of the Year. And we were reminded when Nebraska hired Hoiberg that like his whole family comes from Lincoln and Nebraska, and his grandfather coached the Nebraska men's basketball team to an upset of Wilt Chamberlain in Kansas. Fred's grandfather.
You know, and another good thing about this that should be a part of the legacy is that Fred Hoiberg did not turn this program around overnight, right? I mean, this was not a done deal, right? I mean, there up until, certainly 2 years ago, there were a lot of fans that wanted him fired, that wanted him out of there. That was just like, this is not going to work.
It was a mildly hot seat. It was
I think
at least
a lot of us,
seat.
I think those of us, even though we still like Fred so much, we looked and we're just like, that program just sucks. Nobody can win there. You just get out of there, right? I mean, there's no helping that program. But in a day and age where coaches change over faster than they ever have before, more frequently than they ever have before, you have coaches one and done in college basketball far more often now than you used to. Far more often.
Yeah.
In this era, you have not only a Nebraska school that allowed Fred Hoiberg to stay longer, but you have a Fred Hoiberg who stuck with it and was just like, no, I know how to do this. I will figure it out eventually. Just give me more time and continued faith. And he did figure it out. So, I mean, it's good to have those examples out there because I don't think it's good for college sports to be on the path that we are, where it's just instant gratification or nothing. Either, the blackboard says national champions or we wipe it clean every year. That's just not I don't think that's sustainable. I don't think fans truly want that. I don't think this makes this whole entity of sports look good.
Price Sanford, the Sanfords, it's pronounced Sanford. I'm trying to adjust to that because I've said Sanford for a long time.
Yeah. Because it's not Fred Sanford.
Yeah, it's Fred Sanford.
Which is cool because the name is Sandfort.
Yeah,
which is something that you became acquainted with very early on.
So the Sanfords had quite a week. So Peyton gets his first NBA basket, a corner three for the Thunder. And Price had a big game, 7 threes in the NCAA tournament. And one more sign of why it was time for a change at Iowa. You look at like Price and Peyton Sanford, Owen Freeman before he got hurt, Brock Harding, who's now
I think it's Freeman,
and now a starter at TCU. Josh Dix, Cooper Koch, Drew Thelwell. I mean, there's a lot of talent on that Iowa team the last couple of years that did not get to the NCAA tournament. And then Fran McCaffrey goes to Penn, gets to the NCAA tournament. As expected, they got run out,
Smoked.
Gave up more than 100 points. And that's the problem with Fran's style of basketball. You'll win some games, but then like the NBA playoffs, you get to this level, you have to play defense, and his teams just don't play defense. So they get run out, and he still hasn't been to a Sweet 16. A.J. Dybantsa showed why he could be the number 1 pick in the NBA draft. 35 points, 10 rebounds. But I thought BYU would stick around a little bit.
I did too. They were so good in the late Big 12 conference season. I had them winning a few rounds here. This one of many things that just shot my bracket to shit. But I mean, this is ridiculous. I mean, they paid him $7-8 million a year. They got nothing for that. Nothing. There's no way that's sustainable. The Mormons out there are not going to continue to fork over this kind of money to get nothing.
They won some games. They didn't get nothing.
This was a total waste for them. It was a total waste. They didn't win the conference, didn't win the conference tournament, and they didn't go anywhere in the NCAA tournament. That's a failure. They had
some fun.
He was great. They failed for $8 million.
Whatever the amount was, he has said that his mom wants him to stay, so he might be back at BYU next season.
I wonder if the money will have anything to do with that decision.
Let me go ahead and spoil this. He's not going to be back at BYU next season.
Because the NBA money will be
the end.
Greater. Yeah.
I was happy to see the Miami Redhawks win that first 4 game after going 31-1.
Yeah.
It wasn't as interesting because they weren't still undefeated, but there were still many experts who said they had no business with that schedule being in the tournament. But they went in there and beat SMU, and that's a fun story. They played really well, and this is what you want from the NCAA tournament. You don't want it to just become middle-of-the-pack power conference teams when a team goes 31-1.
Yeah, and they need to consider that, right? I mean, do the things now to keep that, to preserve that in the future, to codify that. I mean, this is something that everybody agrees that they love about the NCAA tournament. Even the big school fans like this about the NCAA tournament because oftentimes it means taking out one of their arch rivals. I mean, this speaks to like the core of sports fandom, right? Upsets, Cinderella stories. I mean, we all, whether your team is a Cinderella team or not, I think we all appreciate that story too.
Yes.
So I so hope that this is something that never changes.
Wrestling, as we'll give this up at this point because every time we've been bringing it up for 20 years. NCAA wrestling would do the sport so much good, getting out from under the men's and women's now more popular than ever, basketball tournaments. But the fans in that niche don't see it that way. They feel like basketball should get out of the way, or they just don't care. But that doesn't keep me from getting emails of, enough with the basketball. Where's your wrestling coverage? Are you aware that the NCAA wrestling? Yes, we're aware. We've even, on years that it was possible that one of our schools won the national championship, we've even sent reporters there. I think, Andy, did you ever cover that?
Hassel did before. He
Hassel,
covered. He had to go. He's still
bitter about that.
Yeah, he's very bitter about that.
But this Penn State's going to win. We could have called this at the beginning of the season. I mean, Iowa and Iowa State are both having Iowa State's having an uptick and a good season. Iowa's down and some fans are frustrated, but they're both going to finish in the top 10. But a person that's not a wrestling expert like me could tell you before the season, Penn State is going to win the national championship easily, and that's what's going to happen.
Yeah, and I mean, we have a couple of reasons for wishing that wrestling would have moved this or stuck with the move. I mean, you do want to be able to have something else to cover, and you could cover it more if it weren't buried by the basketball tournament.
100%.
And so when we say that, though, we sound like me, my wife accusing me every time that we talk about a Christmas or birthday present for Eddie. I suggest that we get him a Nintendo Switch 2. And my mom,
she thinks it's for you.
Yeah. Kahal will be like, you only want to get him that because that's what you want. You want one of those things. I'm like, no, he really does want it. And it's true. He really does want it. And I would play it. Yeah. I'm not going to turn it away. Right. I would play it. So yeah, I mean, we would like it if they would move it because it would be easier on us. But I just think the bottom line is that is a core group of fans.
Yeah, they don't care.
They are insulated from everybody else, and I think that's fine. I mean, if that's where they want to have their tournament, first of all, we all know wrestlers. You are not going to get them to change their mind on something. You're not going to get them to do something they don't want to do. Not going to get them to get up off the mat. You know, they're stubborn by nature. This is what they want. This is what they've got. They're happy with it. And then you just got to be like, all right, well, have at it.
Yeah. And you just have to be okay with it, because the reality is you're going to have less coverage, less attention, fewer reporters there. But you're right. There is part of them that just doesn't care. It's like, you don't have to get out of the way of the NFL, but if you don't, you're going to be swallowed up. But they don't care. Right now, it's time to find out what's bugging you.
Hi, I'm Tom Coates. If what's bugging you is your credit card debt, please call us at Consumer Credit of Des Moines. Since 1987, we've helped over 100,000 people, and we can help you.
This is Troy out in Northern Illinois. I've been doing a lot of traveling lately. What the hell is up with these hotel pillows? You walk into your room after a long day and there they are, laying on the bed all plump, soft, and inviting. But the second your head touches one, it disappears faster than Sipker's Bills in the playoffs. You end up laying with your head on a flat, deflated whoopee cushion. I could get more neck and head support by resting my head on 5 sheets of printer paper. Who asked for these pillows anyway? Does anyone actually enjoy them? They're about as worthless as a fake ID inside Jack Trice Stadium. I don't want to be the person who travels with their own pillow, but I may be forced to unless there's a great awakening or pillow revolution. Besides my stiff neck, that's what's bugging me.
That's pretty good.
That is reason to watch on YouTube or some visual platform right there. 80's selection of photos. 80, where did you find the hot maid fluffing the pillows? Where was that?
You just got to know what to
Google. Your recent stay?
Yeah, you got to know what to Google. Yeah, that hit hard because I heard that yesterday, and I just came out of 5 nights without my pillow, and I'm at the age now where like one of the things I'm most excited about coming home from vacation is my pillow.
I travel with my pillow when I can.
There you go. Speakpipe.com/Murph_Andy is where you leave a message anytime on what's bugging you, and AD picks out couple of those, sometimes just one when it's about pillows. It's powered by the Cellular Advantage. Experience the service you deserve. Since 1993, Cellular Advantage prides itself on being the locally owned alternative for wireless services. Proud partner of U.S. Cellular and now T-Mobile. Rest in peace, Chuck Norris, a 6-time world karate champion. Died at age 86. I remember him from Lone Wolf McQuade, surprisingly good movie. You're reminded how old Chuck Norris was when you know that he was like pals with Bruce Lee. I mean, Bruce Lee is like this, doesn't even seem like a real figure now, but he was an actual person. Walker, Texas Ranger. Mm-hmm. What else am I missing from the
He was in
Chuck
some
Norris canon?
Pretty bad 80s movies that I remember. What is
Delta Force?
Delta Force, yes.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Lone Wolf McQuade was actually pretty good in that genre. Not a great actor.
The Total Gym
Gym, yeah. He was staying fit into his 70s, 80s.
I think
with
even
the Total
in his
Gym.
80s, he was out there with the sleeveless tees and stuff. Yeah, he just a full set of beautiful teeth.
Yeah.
Which you'd have to think is a full set of dentures because Chuck Norris has been punched in the mouth a bunch of times, I'm sure. I mean, it's as powerful as he was.
Surprisingly strong hair for a man in his 80s.
Yeah, that was surprisingly strong, too. It would change colors a little bit. Wasn't he like the first white guy that was good at karate?
I don't know a lot of others.
I mean, if you're taking them all the way back to Bruce Lee, so
yeah,
I'd say yes.
He was a lot of chest hair. Like in the photos with Bruce Lee, got a lot of chest hair. And also
some good 80s hair, and he was always wearing those big old boots too, like the square toes, those dingo boots, like dingo. He
would put a boot in your ass for sure.
Oh, he'd put you one upside the face.
On Walker, Texas Ranger, Chuck Norris was part of one of the biggest plot twists in TV history.
Well, pardon my French, but I'll be damned.
Walker told me I had AIDS.
Whoa. Haley Joel Osment dropping a bomb. Yeah, that was heavy.
No way you see that coming. I mean, I'm sorry, AD. One more time on the pivot, please.
Well, pardon my French, but I'll be damned.
Walker told me I had AIDS.
How did he recover after that?
I think it's her smile right before the revelation.
Yeah.
Like she laughs, chuckles a little bit. Is that Wilford Brimley or just looks like?
I don't think
Wilford
so.
Brimley?
It looks like
Okay.
him though. Yeah, it does.
And,
Look,
and
that's
then
what I thought too.
did you notice Haley Joel Osment there? He's been deputized.
Is he wearing a 10-star?
Oh, you need to see it again? Sure.
Well, pardon my French, but I'll be damned.
Walker told me I had AIDS.
Debbie Downer could never do better
wow.
than that. Uh-oh.
All right, Santa Clara's leading. Thank you, Grubby and Cy-Fan. Santa Clara's up 2 with 1:25 left. Yeah, I think Santa Clara wins that game, but it still could go either way at that point. All right, so Andy, here's some Chuck Norris jokes.
Okay.
Because these became.
Oh, these are great. Yep.
Yeah, Chuck Norris doesn't do push-ups. He pushes the earth down.
Nope.
When Chuck Norris enters a room, he doesn't turn the lights on. He turns the dark off. Death once had a near Chuck Norris experience. Maybe not a good one for today. Chuck Norris can hear sign language.
That's a good one.
Chuck Norris beat the sun in a staring contest. Chuck Norris's tears cure cancer. Too bad he has never cried. Chuck Norris can slam a revolving door. Chuck Norris doesn't read books. He stares them down until they give him the information he wants. Chuck Norris once made a Happy Meal cry. Chuck Norris can kill 2 stones with 1 bird. It's time for Throwdowns.
Throwdowns. It's Throwdowns. Backed by Heartland Tire and Auto.
Heartland Tire and Auto helps us throw it down each show. An authorized dealer of both Firestone and Bridgestone tires, where they treat you like family. Murph, we're going to go with you here. When you're watching an NCAA tournament game where you don't have a rooting interest, not one of our teams, not somebody you really care to win, how do you decide which team you root for?
It's always the underdog, the unknown team, the non-name brand, the non-blue blood. I mean, there might be an exception to that, but if I'm watching High Point and Wisconsin, I'm all in on High Point. I mean, I've experienced that in person. Like I was there in Boise when the crowd started to sense that Hampton could hang with Iowa State, might even win. Any neutral fan there on site, and there were thousands of them, they were all behind Hampton. And it wasn't hate for Iowa State. It was just like, this is a 15 seed. The Hampton Pirates might win this game. So, yeah, I think I'm in that chorus.
I think for the most part, I'm too selfish for that. I go by my bracket. If I've got Wisconsin going deep into the tournament, I am rooting for them in that game. I mean, it's hard. It's hard. Sometimes you do abandon ship, and it's just too much. It's just too fun. But there are teams that you still pick to win, even though you don't really like them or want them to win. That can sway it over. But I think the first deciding factor is what I have that team, what I have happening in my bracket, right?
I'm a hypocrite here in that this first weekend and the points matter so little. I'm for the underdog. But if you're still hanging around in your bracket and there is some Cinderella in the Sweet 16 or the Elite 8, and they're playing a team you have winning it all, at that point.
Get them out of there.
I'm sorry. It's time. You guys had a good run. Get out of here.
All right, Andy, we road tripped about 1,000 miles over the last week, and my kids passed a lot of the time watching movies and playing games on their tablets. I used to just listen to my Discman and just stare out the window. What was your favorite way to pass time on a road trip when you were a kid?
Reading was always hard because we never had a car that had a real good ride, so you're bouncing up and down. It would kind of make you sick, so you would listen. But when I got my first Walkman, that was amazing, and I could just sit and listen to one tape after another, and it was great. I now kind of like audiobooks more than anything else, or a good podcast. But when I was a kid, it was the Walkman and the cassette tapes.
Oh yeah, I remember getting my first Walkman, and I remember my first cassette for the Walkman was a Rick James tape, which Dave Chappelle made funnier as time went on. But in the days of my childhood, it was like license plate games and billboard games and stuff like that. What's up, AD?
Santa Clara just hit a 3 with 2 seconds left, and Kentucky banked in the tie. Oh my God, Kentucky just banked in a desperation heave for 3. We're going to overtime.
Oh, it's 73 all. Oh my God!
Oh my God!
Damn it!
Dan Santa Clara wins. Whoop! Not so fast.
Oh my gosh! Why are we doing this podcast?
What are we doing? Oh my God!
What are we doing here? What is going on here?
That was wild. Yeah, that's throwdown. It's getting me off the screen.
Scott School, Stupid Quickie Poll, and more next. It's Murph and Andy on Iowa Everywhere.
For years now, you've heard us talk about Lac Sewell Evergreen Lodge, the incredible Canadian fishing lake a day's drive from central Iowa. Well, let 2026 be the year you plan your ultimate fishing adventure in the Canadian wilderness on the incomparable walleye factory, Lac Sewell. Morning with the sun rising over the Western Ontario scenery. Days on the water with your close friends or family. Evenings in the furnished cabins enjoying walleyes fresh from the lake. They add up to a lifetime of memories. There are still late summer and early fall spots available, and you'll find more information at lacsewellwalleye.com.
Nate Bargatze.
It's a lot to have 2 dogs, because you gotta open the back door and let 2 dogs out.
Big Dumb Eyes World Tour, Casey's Center, Friday, April 24th. Tickets available at natebargatze.com.
Nostalgia THC fruit seltzers in quirky flavors like orange dreamsicle, caramel apple, and grape soda. Refreshing taste, cosmic vibes for your mind. Pick your groove.
Scott School is cool. Yeah.
Hey, everybody.
Hey, what's up, Scott?
It's bracket season, and it wasn't until 1877 that the Wimbledon tennis tournament decided to switch to a set pathway from the beginning. But brackets didn't quite take off until the newspaper industry realized it was the easiest way to lay out how a tournament craziness could develop. And that visual stimulation is why the bracket became so popular in America. And that's Scott School!
Scott School is cool. Yeah.
Scott School presented by Carbless Premium Handcrafted Cocktails. And we have a stupid quickie poll. And Scott, this is one of your better ones because I've really spent too much time thinking about this.
Who is most annoying? Is it bracket guy, fantasy football guy, bad beats, a gambling guy, or rules expert guy?
Oh, man.
Oh,
Bad beats gambling guy is a guy that's just always talking about the money he's got on, on stuff.
Oh man, if this hadn't happened, but I had this bad beat. Right. If this guy just gets one more yard receiving, my parlay hits.
They're always a victim. Yeah. But when they win, it's all credit to them.
Well, the first 3 people they're primarily annoying because they are talking incessantly about something that no one else cares about.
That's the problem here. Rules expert guy is annoying, but at least there's a chance you learn something.
Yeah.
Like they make you aware of a rule that you didn't know changed or didn't know exactly what it was. So I'm eliminating that one. The bad beats gambling guy, you might hear a story about an interesting outcome to the game if it's not about his individual parlay. Fantasy football guy, maybe you hear a couple of stats. Bracket guy is really annoying because there's nothing to learn. You don't care on any level what somebody else's bracket is, but people can't help themselves from going, oh yeah, I had VCU and then I switched over to North Carolina. I should have stuck with. I think I actually read that last night. Might have been Mark Freud. Sorry, Mark.
At least that only lasts 3 weeks.
Yes, that's the thing. The fantasy football is only 6 months. Brackets only 6 weeks. So I got to eliminate those. And to your point, rules expert certainly can help at times, though you want to punch him in the face sometimes. Bad beats guy, it's incessant all year long. It's the main thing that they talk about.
Yeah, right, because you can gamble on so many different things. But you're like, bracket guy, fantasy football guy, gambling guy, you may be able to completely relate. Maybe you do all those things, and you have your own gambling and bracket and fantasy football team. And so they start talking to you, and you don't listen to them. You just start talking about your stuff. And they're not listening to you. And so you're having these parallel conversations that no one is actually participating in. It's like, it's a natural phenomenon.
A Laurence Olivier would memorize his scripts by blacking out every line except his own and his cue line. And that's all he would remember. That's the same having the conversation with somebody about their fantasy league. You're just waiting for them to stop talking so you can start.
Yeah. That's how you're having those conversations.
Wow. Confluence, official beer of Murph and Andy. Confluence is where good things come together. Home of Downtown Throwdown. Andy, what are you drinking today?
Today, I am going to try something I've never tried before. This is the ESB, the Ash Tree ESB, the English style ale. Ash Tree.
The Ash Tree?
And let's see. Here we go.
Is it made with ash tree?
I don't think
bark?
so. I don't think so.
Like a
it's just,
ash tree
it's
bark
local.
barrel?
The ash trees, that's a big deal around here. Here we go. All right. Tiny little hops at the very beginning, but then smooths out. Smooth is out.
Any emerald ash borers in there?
It's got some... No, I hope not. Jeez.
A little bit of protein, a little crunch.
Something I call Diet Pepsi.
Nice creamy finish to it. Yeah, ESB. Ash
AD, I realize it's time for this week's Say What winner.
Oh, yeah. Sure is.
Okay.
Say what?
Say what? I don't have a winner.
You forgot?
I forgot. Who said something really stupid?
Okay, can I go?
Yeah.
It was me. Yesterday on Overthinking.
You're this week's Say What?
I am, yeah.
winner?
I went on this, I was in like a little bit of a foul mood yesterday. And so I started talking bad about March Madness, how much I don't like
where?
it anymore.
Really?
On Overthinking.
Publicly?
Yeah, on Overthinking. I said that I just don't like it and I don't care anymore. And there's a lot of things. The courts are all the same. It's freaking boring. Too many ads. They stagger the games now. It's like by half instead of, you remember when we were, 20 years ago, it was like, the end of the first section of games, it was like every 5 minutes you had to finish. Now it's
missed the whip around
too.
Oh,
the
that
whip
great
around used to be great.
fireworks finale that you would have.
Greg Gumbel.
And the NIL, all that. But you know what? After I said it and I went back, I was being a dick. And I was stupid. Why would I hate March Madness? It brings so much joy to so many people. So I take it back.
Thank you, Scott.
Say what?
AD,
Say what?
are you okay with Scott winning this week? Say what?
Yeah, absolutely.
It was dumb. It was so
Andy,
dumb.
are you good with it?
Yeah, I appreciate him sacrificing himself like that.
All right, good.
I've been overthinking it for the last 24 hours, so thank you for letting me have this platform,
It's off your
guys.
chest now. Let's get some more.
But wait, there's more. From Either Or Eatery and Patio.
The patio at Either Or is wide open. It is the place to be right now. They are playing all the games. They've got it on the TVs, and they've got the sound on, which is a very important distinction.
Yes.
Welcome over there. Lua beers, appetizers, happy hour going from 2 to 6 today.
You better get there early today.
Yeah, if I want to sit down over there, I'm going to have to have somebody save
It
the
is a
seat.
beautiful day.
Bad
Stop
day
by
out.
my house if it's too busy. Just swing by my house, guys.
Yeah, right over there.
It's open to the public.
You have that really big deck.
I have a big deck. It's an average size for Iowa,
That's a
though.
huge deck. Yeah, that is.
It's in
that's
your
like
backyard,
It's
though.
like a kids.
Oh yeah,
Kids.
I have
built
a
that
tree house off my deck.
It's a good one. Bad day on Wall Street. Don't look at your retirement counts right now. Yeah, no look. Also, bad day for Chuck Norris. We covered that already.
Well,
I got a letter. Murph, I showed you this first one. There's somebody that's mailing me typed letters at the TV station.
Oh, man.
Who may be a serial killer. I don't know. Kentucky up 4 now, 83-79.
It's got that Saving Private Ryan font, like from the Army
Like
back in.
really, really weird. And yeah, he's,
Whoa,
like,
whoa.
He's not talking
Eddie,
about me.
hold it.
Yeah, I
Hold
wanna
up the
see the
actual
header.
font, not the headlines, but like the body of the.
Oh, the
See that?
typewriter font?
Yeah, remember that old typewriter?
Oh, yeah.
That's,
Frank Sinatra? I love old Blue Eyes.
Well,
I didn't know you. I didn't know about the second one. The first one was could make no sense of it or even connect dots of what the thought process was.
And you know, it's funny. You can always tell pretty quickly when someone's crazy that you're talking to. You're like, oh, but you know, sometimes they got to talk
crazy.
for a little while. You're like, oh, this guy's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's no waiting on this one because the first line of the letter is the Iranian Revolution was about me and Princess Diana.
Whoa.
74% at least.
74% at least. Random
Wait, is
number.
this a comedy letter? Like, is he
No.
trying to be funny?
I have
No, I
no
read the
idea.
last one. It was there's like
and like you can't tell.
suddenly Hitler is in the same sentence as like Elizabeth Taylor.
Right? Yeah. You're
Princess
like,
Diana didn't get married until, what, 1980? The Iranian Revolution was before that.
yeah, and you're just like, is this
Now
a
you're trying to think of some logic here.
Is
Don't-
this a far right lunatic or is it a far left lunatic? None of it makes any sense. You can't put any of it together. But
That was my first thought when you showed it to me. I was like, oh boy.
What's the man's thesis, Andy? What's his general core thesis?
There's no way
beats
Andy
the
has
crap
an
out
idea.
of me. There's no rhyme or reason to it at all. It just rambles all over the place. The song "Everybody Wants to Rule the World" was one of the biggest hits in musical history in 1985. "Shout" became equally important within 3 hours of the LP's release in May. This was the chairman of the board, Blue Eyes himself, warning me, his son, and the god of music. He paid $50,000 for both tunes in 1981. For Brian, my name from Mother Marilyn Monroe, after her lover Brian Vander Mason, Aretha Franklin's father, a white spy who slept in my palace bedroom in 1957. He was a spy number 10 historical.
Do you have
in
do you have a
1984
return address?
No, no return address. In 1984, Baptist began this curse full-time versus me. Marriage is all it's called, and Jimmy Carter married me to Madonna by 2033 or the world fails.
These are some wild pivots.
Jimmy Carter's dead. He can't marry him. It's not going to happen.
My God. It's just
Okay.
Please,
All right.
I hope,
Yeah.
keep us apprised. I'd like to know more about this.
Have you guys, we talked a little bit about this. This storm didn't really hit us this week, but did you see what it did to Wisconsin and the Upper Peninsula of Michigan? So this is
Are you
the
setting
Upper
up
Peninsula.
AD here?
Yeah, this is the Upper Peninsula of Michigan.
Okay. Youpers.
Youper. These are Youpers here.
Oh, wow. That looks like the guy's just plowing a tunnel.
This is one storm. Look at the deer. I don't even know what they're doing there, but
Having fun.
Yeah. Look at this. Look at this. His door was shut. He opened it again, and the imprint of the door is still there.
And that's why you have a storm door.
Look at that. The round lake area in the central part of the UP got 52 inches of snow.
Woo.
52 inches in one storm.
That is staggering.
I have been up there a number of times and covered news and sports up there, and it's like another world. It's incredible. They have so much snow. There's one city up there that I think averages. Look at this. Look, this door was shut. It got completely buried in snow. He opened it up. The imprint of the entire door is in the snow because there's more than 6 feet of snow at the door.
Do they not have storm doors up there?
Like that is a storm door.
No, like you get that glass in between.
I guess not. Right. No, that's
where are they going to put all this snow?
They actually have to put it on railroad cars and get it out of town that way. They clear the tracks.
It's just going to melt.
Well, I mean, yeah, right now it's going to melt, but when this happens like in December or January, it'll be there forever. It's nuts. Meme of the day that made me laugh. If college basketball coaches dressed like Major League Baseball managers.
that is a funny idea.
Tom Izzo just in the full Spartans.
Got in the aughts or the 2010s when they were in those Adidas shorts that we saw the other day on the show. Just
how
those
funny would that
basically
look?
Clam diggers.
Yeah, you wouldn't see those hairy knees.
I want everybody in suits, all managers and coaches in suits from out, including baseball. They got to bring that back.
That is a weird because they didn't always do that in baseball. If you look at like Connie Mack, he's wearing a suit.
Yeah,
you do miss like the Jay Wright on the sidelines, where just in a really nice suit. More and more coaches almost all coaches have gone casual.
McCollum still rocks the tie.
Yeah, he does.
Kentucky's gonna win this thing.
I like Ben.
Up 7 with
you know what
5
just
seconds.
happened is Kentucky had to play an extra 5 minutes. And Iowa State's going to be resting starters in the final 5 minutes. That's 10 minutes.
Jesus. Iowa State fans. They're going to be playing music outside your townhome tomorrow morning. You better watch it.
Oh,
it can't be louder.
I remember Murph texted me during
morning.
that Richmond Iowa game. Like, hey, don't worry about this. Don't worry. A few years ago.
Jeez. That was rough.
Oops.
The World Happiness Report is out with its annual list of the happiest countries on Earth. For the 9th year in a row, Finland is number 1. Iceland is second, followed by Denmark in third. The United States finishes a tepid 23rd this year. Researchers took a look at 6 factors, including GDP per capita, life expectancy, generosity, and perceptions of freedom and corruption to help account for variations among countries. So it goes Finland, Iceland, Denmark, Costa Rica, Sweden, Norway, the Netherlands, Israel, Luxembourg, and Switzerland.
Where is Iran at this point?
Yeah, it's probably
last.
Probably further down on the list.
Don't spark another letter to Andy.
Princess Diana and I were having a torrid love affair in the late 70s.
We were in Denmark, and we had a tour guide in Denmark, and she was really interesting because she was doing more than just pointing out buildings. She was kind of describing life in Denmark, and she was talking about how they frequently finish high in these, world happiness rankings, and she was talking about the factors that go into that and why people there feel happy. And one thing is because they do trust each other. They trust the government. They feel listened to, even though because they have all these mitigating factors or factors mitigating against them. It's dark a lot there. It's cold. It rains a lot. I mean, those affect people's moods big time. And yet these are the happiest countries in the world, and they're very they're very cold. They have a lot of daylight
Maybe that tells
issues
you
in
how
winter.
sad everybody else is, Andy.
Yeah, well, the number one thing was the way that they cooperate with one another. We talk about how that is such a big deal in those countries, and that has such a direct effect on how happy they are in the countries. They help each other, and when they're called to help each other, they are happy to do that.
We missed tip-off. We're going to drop in the rankings.
Yeah, all right, we got to hurry. All right, a notorious pothole in New York City is helping a young mechanic make bank. Javier Yat is this dude's name. This is the pothole in New York City. It's been out there for a long time. It is about 60 square inches and 12 inches deep. People drive over that, and they blow out their tire. And so what has he done? He has set up shop not far away. Got a little permit. He's got all these tires. Says he's raking in at least $2,200 a night. Runs out of tires mid-shift. He's got a runner refilling a tire supply. He said he discovered the hole nearly 2 years ago. He said he's done patchwork on the hole, but the patchwork doesn't ever last very long.
Why would that be? Why can't they?
Because this guy is going out at 1 a.m. and he's digging it back up.
You might be right.
All right.
And that's not a pothole. That's just like a crater.
That's a big one. Yeah, that's a bathtub hole is what that is.
Like an artillery
we'll jump
shell
ahead to the last one here, Andrew, and give you from the files of Some Headlines Don't Need Stories. We'll bring you this. Washington State man arrested for DUI on electric unicycle. Police suspected something was up when they saw him swerving through traffic in the middle of the street, yelling and giving the middle finger to cars.
Yeah.
When the deputy flashed his lights, the man briefly stopped but then sped off again. Officers eventually found him about an hour and a half later after he'd crashed the unicycle into a ditch in unincorporated Port Orchard. His head was bleeding, he smelled of urine, and he was drunk.
In his mild defense, at least as I think of a unicycle, I don't know how these electric ones work. I have seen them. But how drunk can you be if you can stay on top of the unicycle, or is this not that challenging?
Is it like the Segways where you just really
It did look very
matter?
Futuristic. You would think it has some sort of autopilot.
I mean, he did fall off, and it sounds like he fell pretty hard.
And he pissed himself.
Yeah.
In that.
Reeks of urine. You can't be peeing yourself. You can't piss yourself on an electric unicycle. You electrocute your tip. You shock your tip. It'd be terrible. That's your more, everybody.
All right. It's time for the Andrew Downs audio drop of the day. We call it the AD squared.
Before we get there, I want to remind you, no, not of that, of the Iowa Lottery's Millionaire for Life game. Top prize, $1 million a year, every year for the rest of your life. Second prize, $100,000 a year. 9 ways to win, just $5 to play. Scratch, pick, pull. Play your way wherever you buy your Iowa Lottery tickets. It is Friday, so some parental advisory is necessary here. I guess before we get there, Game Day Men's Health. It brings you this segment each and every day. It brings me tee shots each and every week. Bikini season right around the corner. It feels like it's a day. Get out and get to Game Day. Let them help you get ready for a big summer
You're
ahead.
You're going to wear a bikini today?
You never know. You never know, Murph.
All right. Wisconsin lost.
Yes, exactly. If Iowa wins, I mean, everything's going my way.
Oh, yeah.
It is Friday, so some parental advisory is necessary. None of these bleeps are necessary. It's all innocent conversation. I have placed bleeps to make you hear things that aren't actually being said. I will say these weeks are hard when I'm out. I did listen to the show, but I'm not like paying attention quite as much as I do while I'm here. So I appreciate the conversation you guys had here. This is just one conversation bleeped here on unnecessary censorship.
We'll end with this. In Germany, a woman named Sina Ruppenthal has set a new world record by ***ing off 10 men. And we've got the video to prove it. Here we go. She's going to all these guys. That one. The guy's on her shoulders. She them off onto that mat. Look at that. One after another.
You got to be getting tired at this point.
Yeah, look at that. Here we go. They're not all the same stuff. They're not a bunch of jockeys either. These are like regular men.
It's not like a boy band.
Look at that. Whew, she's tired after that. Look at that. She's pumped. Look at that.
Well done.
Nice. That's your more, everybody.
Tossing.
Tossing
She's
them off.
Tossing them off. Yes. And we welcome at the 1 o'clock time, we had the 13 app people joined us today because the news was on.
Oh,
they
hi.
didn't join us till 1. So if you missed any of the show, you can go back and find it on
YouTube.
any of these platforms.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Spotify,
YouTube.
iTunes.
I don't know how many there are these
Right.
days, but there's many. All right, quickie poll results. 2 polls today, including a surprisingly interesting one from Scott.
Did you find a way out of work early today? I'd like to see this. 68% say yes, I'm not working a full day. 32%.
Which do you think that is more? Which do you think, if you had to pick, is it more the NCAA tournament or the weather?
NCAA tournament.
For our crowd, the NCAA tournament.
The weather helps, though. I mean, even if you...
It helps a lot.
I mean, it is easier to work remotely these days, but you can't tell me that there's actual work getting done. Come on, man.
Come on, man.
If you're sitting outside with basketball on and you're working, come on. Who is most annoying? Bracket guy, fantasy football guy, bad beats gambling guy, or rules expert guy? Bad beats gambling guy has it at 44%. 27% is gonna go with fantasy football guy. That guy's really annoying. 23% so is like rules expert guy.
Don't be any of these
6% said bracket guy is the most annoying. All right.
I'm sure I've been all these guys at one time or another. Hey, true to our word, we're done before tip-off. I assume, but I haven't heard, there must be sliding the Iowa State the Iowa State tip-off time.
I heard you.
Right? Because overtime game before?
Yeah.
All
They
right.
need enough warm-up time. 2 p.m. is what they're saying right now.
2 p.m. So Iowa
Go
State,
all Iowa teams.
TSU, 2 p.m. Everybody have a great day. Enjoy the tournament. Enjoy the weather. Thank you so much for joining us. However
Happy
you
spring.
found us. Yeah, please follow, like, subscribe. We appreciate it. Thank you for all the hearts and thumbs up. Appreciate that, too. We're back Monday at our regular time of 1 p.m. Don't forget to join us for Sound Off Sunday night, 10:30 on WHO 13. And we should have a lot to talk about.
Also, two
Have a great
guys
weekend.
tomorrow morning.
Oh, yeah, and happy hour's already done. It should be wherever you find it, it's there now.